This is a special presentation from UFC Fight Pass. Step into our world at UFCFightPass.com.
It is extra rounds here on UFC Fight Pass, courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbook, and we are here to break things down for UFC 304. Hey, everybody, I'm TJ DeSantis, along with Mr. Hands. You know him as Chase Hooper. Chase, would you believe me if you didn't know already that Belal Muhammad is the new UFC welterweight champion of the world?
If you told me the method of victory, then I would believe you for sure.
Okay, all right. There's some truth to that. Now, let me ask you this. Obviously, Belal Muhammad walks away with a unanimous decision, 48-47 twice, 49-46 once. Did you feel it was as unanimous as it turned out to be once that bell for the fifth round sounded?
Yeah, I thought giving 2 rounds to Leon was kind of ridiculous, honestly. I thought it was 4-1 easy.
I agree.
But I think those 2 that gave it to Leon were some UK judges, probably, if I had to guess.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you had to make the argument of 2 rounds for Leon, there's no doubt that the third round went to Leon Edwards, but was it the fifth or was it the first that you would say was more on the side of Rocky?
I would imagine that they would be leaning heavy on the damage side of things for the scoring criteria for that round.
Yeah.
And I would give it 5 easy.
Yeah. It's interesting because it was a bad cut, you know, and I don't want that to bury the narrative here. This is a very historical night for, Leon Edwards, or for I just did with the Daniel Cormier right there. Remember the name, damn it. Belal Muhammad, very historical night for him. But if Leon Edwards were allowed another round, do you think that this fight was close to being stopped? Was that a cut that was bad enough to maybe end the night of now the new welterweight king?
I mean, the nice thing for Belal is that it was like, it looked on the bridge of the nose, which, it's the issue with them stopping fights for cuts is generally when those cuts start bleeding into the eyes and starts affecting the vision. So something on the bridge of the nose where it's going to start, going on these natural pathways that you have to, keep it out of your eyeballs. I would imagine they'd keep that one going, but he was definitely leaking.
Yeah.
It's a shame that Leon, had to, wait until the last 40 seconds again to make it interesting.
Yeah. Looking at this fight, it was probably a lot closer, or you can at least make the argument that it's closer than it actually was, because I scored it 49-46 for Belal Muhammad. I thought it was very clear cut that he won this fight. But with that in mind, and when you look at what, Leon had to do to become the undisputed champion, going through, Usman twice, was there enough here in your mind, if you're in the camp of one Leon Edwards, to go, all right, when are we running it back? Leon deserves an immediate rematch.
I mean, so what is that? 1 title defense and then 1 against Colby.
Right.
So the Usman Colby. I don't know that really gets you a immediate rematch, but I mean the whole 9-year unbeaten streak, that's impressive in its own right. And I don't know who anybody fights next at the top of welterweight. Where does Shavkat sit?
Right.
Does Usman sit, who's number 1 contender, at least as far as the current rankings go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so many interesting matchups, and it's all like, I want to see how all these pieces start fitting together again.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's a lot of interesting moves to be made atop 170 pounds, but let's talk about the man that is Belal Muhammad. Remember the name. He's able to get it done. 11-fight unbeaten streak at this point. He walks out of Manchester, the underdog and now undisputed champion. Does he win over fans? I know that there's a lot of knocks against Belal. He's a fantastic human being. He's one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. But, this was an historic moment for him, a historic night. And I sort of fall in love with things like that, Chase. I think that there are a lot of positives to take away here. But obviously the Boo Birds were out in force. Does Belal start to turn the tide and win over some fans at all with this performance?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was funny, the irony of round 3 with Leon just holding Belal's back the whole time. They're, cheering, and then, gets reversed. In round 4, immediately, same thing happens in reverse, and they're just booing the whole time. That was a little funny. But, I mean, again, he's fighting in Leon's hometown. You got to expect the crowd's against you.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've got to say, it felt like, at least the first 2 rounds felt somewhat little bit of a Khabib type of thing to it, like good pressure, good pace, good volume. And it's not like he was just wrestling the whole time. He had some good strikes.
Yeah.
He was throwing down on the feet and then just, using that to set up his wrestling. So I think, after the Sean Brady fight, I think he's honestly a lot more comfortable in his stand up. So I think hopefully we'll see more of that coming from him.
Looking at Belal in this first round, he got a takedown early. The jab was on point at various moments of this fight. He had a nice uppercut. Where do you think he broke Leon, though? And I guess maybe the question is, did Leon break? Do you feel that there was a moment where we saw the sort of fight go by the wayside? I mean, obviously he was in control in the last few moments of the fight, but it was too little too late. Was there a moment that mentally you felt like Leon, started to take a step back?
I don't know. I think maybe more round three, or I'm sorry, not round three. Obviously that was his best round. More round four, like once he got back into that position and got it reversed. Because I think maybe his corner was like, okay, round three was close. If we win the last two, we can still win the fight. Once you get to the point of like, I need a finish or I'm losing, like that's a really tough situation to come back from. And I think, obviously he was still in there, like he showed in that last 40 seconds of the fight. He's still trying to get a finish when he can, but it wasn't that same pace and intensity as round one, where he was counter grappling, doing some shots of his own. He had the back take in round three. I think it was kind of a little more downhill from there, but great fight overall. Great, heart from both those guys.
Yeah.
Great cardio, great technique. I mean, it was, not maybe the most exciting to a casual fan, but there were some great grappling exchanges, some great striking still. And I thought it was a pretty good fight overall.
The elephant in the room here is a man named Shavkat Rakhmonov. I think he's the toughest guy that anybody can face in this division. His record reflects that. We'll see if Leon gets another opportunity at Belal, but if it's not Leon next, Shavkat can't be denied much longer. And honestly, man, I think Shavkat's a tough out, if not maybe unbeatable for anyone in the division. Your thoughts if Shavkat might be next for Belal Muhammad?
Yeah, I mean, Shavkat's ranked 3 right now, I believe, which, again, the rankings just got shaken up because it was Usman, Belal, and then Shavkat right below that with Leon as the champ. So taking Leon out of the picture, yeah, I mean, does Usman get that title shot off of what? The 2 losses to Leon, correct? I don't think he's had a fight since.
No.
So I don't think you can give him the title shot off that.
I think he fought Hamzat, no?
That was at 85, though.
You are correct. Yeah, so in the weight class. I always get confused with Hamzat because is he active? Is he not active? Was he at middleweight? Was he at welterweight? Can he make the weight? Who knows?
Yeah. And so that would make what? That'd make a 3-fight skid right now, technically.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I would have a hard time thinking that you put Usman in a title fight at 170 pounds. And again, you're just delaying the inevitable, in my opinion. Like your dog will not be denied. Shavkat Rakhmonov can't be denied.
She says no Usman for the title shot next. She says Shavkat it is.
I like your matchmaking dog.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to her, but she's got cauliflower coming in, which is kind of weird.
I mean, is
playing too hard outside?
Is it cauliflower by association? Is it just you hang out with Mr. Hands?
There's like a little pocket of fluid, just like cauliflower here, and I was like, "Can dogs get it?" And Google says yes. So
fair enough.
She's got some expertise now in the game.
My buddy's got a bull terrier that's entire right ear is cauliflower, so it happens. Let's talk about your interim heavyweight champion. It's hard to still put that title on it when Tom Aspinall has been nothing but as active as he possibly can be. He shines tonight, stopping Curtis Blades. If you didn't remember, they had a fight before. The results doesn't even really matter. And when you look at what we saw tonight from Tom Aspinall, no one's ever going to say that Curtis Blades really owns a win over your current and reigning interim champion. Your thoughts on Aspinall and, what does he got to do next?
Yeah, I mean, it was an impressive win, obviously. Like, he showed that loss to Blades in the first, whether it was, obviously a knee injury, but, he shook that one off, and he's still, yeah, I think he proved he's the champ tonight. And whether or not, Jones comes back, we'll see. I don't really know. Like, does Aspinall just keep fighting and just everybody just assumes that this is the real heavyweight title now? Does he just keep defending the interim? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
It's already been far too long for John Jones to still sort of be the undisputed champion in my mind. We don't really know what's going to happen next. Is it Stipe? There's been talks about Alex Bejeda. Bottom line is, if we go 2 full years where John Jones is the undisputed champion and he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall, we just got to drop that title off and give it to the UK's Tom Aspinall, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, what's the point of having the interim if you're not going to, strip the guy if he's not being active and give it to the interim champ? Like, that's
right.
He's the future, obviously, in the heavyweight division. Let's see it. If I don't know, what's the point of the Stipe fight anymore? Either Aspinall or vacate.
I'm kind of with you. And Jens was, selling me on the idea of Jones fighting Alex Bejeda, and I get that. That's a dream sort of fight. But at this point, like, we're just doing a disservice to Tom Aspinall. This man doesn't deserve to have his, status as a champion be cheapened because we're trying to chase down, a super fight of sorts. Tom Aspinall deserves his opportunity, and he should be, if not the undisputed already, give the man the opportunity to make sure that he can be undisputed.
Yeah, I mean, look at Michael Chandler, for example, sitting out waiting for a guy. You don't know if this guy's coming back or not. And, if you get 2 fights a year and then now you're sitting out a year, like, you're really, like, taking the clock away, especially, like, Aspinall obviously still has a decent bit more time, but, we don't know how much more Jones has left in the books as far as fighting goes. And, I'd like to see that fight happen before it's done.
Well, I mean, we talk about, superstars like Conor McGregor, superstars like John Jones. I know John Jones has left a ton of money on the table, but John doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to do. And I don't know if I'm John Jones that I necessarily want to fight Tom Aspinall. That's not a fight that helps your legacy. If he goes out there and he blitzes him and wins, that's John Jones doing John Jones things. But Tom Aspinall, damn, man, he's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you get to call yourself the heavyweight undisputed champion of the world if you're not willing to fight the guy with the interim belt. So, maybe do take the Stipe fight, do take the Alex Bejeda fight, but you don't get the belt if you're not going to fight the contenders,
I agree with you.
Cherry pick it.
I agree with you. Is there another fight top of mind that we could give Aspinall if it's not John Jones next? Because at this point, like, I know you got to fight to make money, but if I'm Aspinall, we're still talking about heavyweight hitters that can put you out on any given night with any given punch. If he can afford to sit back, I would make sure that the next fight is for that undisputed status, regardless of who it is.
Yeah, I mean, what do we have? Heavyweight. Cyril Gane's number 2. Does that make any sense?
No.
Volkov. Curtis Blades, who he just beat. Pavlovich, who he just beat.
Right.
Stipe is number 6. I mean, who is there for Aspinall to fight besides Jones?
Daniel Cormier. You know what I mean? Like, we're getting that ridiculous at this point.
Or like, hey, we'll buy out Ngannou. Here you go.
Right.
But I don't know. It's got to be the Jones fight in my head.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Let's talk about Paddy Pimblett before my voice completely gives way. I called boxing last night, Chase, and the mix was bad in my headphones. I sound like a 12-year-old. Thanks for
little voice crack here and there.
Yeah, it's really bad. Paddy Pimblett able to shine tonight, chokes out King Green. Green goes for a takedown, gets caught in a guillotine, and then it was just a chain submission, goes to the triangle. I've never seen a man get armbarred while unconscious, but what are we going to call it? I mean, are we calling it a technical submission due to the triangle or a technical submission due to the armbar?
I've seen clips of that online, and I have to see kind of what happened with Bobby after the fact, but I've seen a lot of chokes like that where the guy gets the triangle specifically, where the guy gets choked out, and then the guy's like, okay, the ref doesn't stop it. The guy, with the choke being applied, or applying the choke, is like, okay, I guess we'll attack the arm. and they snap the guy's arm because there's
Ugh.
no resistance because he's
Ugh.
unconscious. Like, we'll have to see if that happened to Bobby Green or not. But it looked like it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
I definitely call that a triangle.
Yeah. Let's call it probably the biggest win of Paddy Pimblett's career. And
Yep.
when you look at, the decisions that he's been handed, I don't mean to be that blatant when I say handed, but this was the type of win that you want to see from Paddy Pimblett, now ranked in the top 10. Let's play fantasy matchmaker, Mr. Hands. What are you doing with him?
I looked at the rankings a little bit ago. Let's see. Right above him is Jalen Turner. He called for
Moicano.
Moicano, but Moicano he's trying to do a pretty decent jump right up to number 10.
Yeah.
From 15 to 10. We got Benoit Saint-Denis, Moicano fighting. Maybe Hooker or Jalen Turner would be great.
I like the Hooker fight. I like the Hooker fight a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I'd watch that. I'd watch either of those fights.
For sure. To me, Pimblett against Hooker sounds like it could be a fight night main event.
Yeah, I agree.
No offense to Jalen Turner. I think that's a great fight too. But like the idea of Hooker and Pimblett, I like the sounds of that UFC fight night. Pimblett versus Hooker, Hooker versus Pimblett, however you want to do the A side, B side. But more importantly, I think we're in a situation now where we're looking at Paddy Pimblett coming off a win where there's no argument, there's no debate. Let's give this man upper echelon competition, and let's see how it unfolds.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Great sub. Kind of a weird game plan by Bobby Green. I'm not sure. From the striking to the weird takedown.
Was it a mental thing? Because he was so in Paddy Pimblett's face, and Tony Ferguson was the same way in the past. Like, I get worried when guys get so aggressive that they end up fighting almost out of their skin, and then they find themselves in these weird sort of scenarios, and that's sort of what I think contributed to Bobby Green kind of fighting outside of himself tonight.
Yeah, I agree. But, Paddy looked the best he has ever had against, the toughest competition he's ever fought. Looked a lot better than he did the Tony fight. But, I'm interested. I want to see more of his grappling. I'm very, I think you'd have to do that against Hooker, obviously.
Yeah.
With the wars he's had with Poirier, Hooker's a banger. So we got to see Pimblett grappling that fight. But I'm here for it.
It's weird. John Anik called him Patrick Pimblett, which I knew was his name, but I'm so used to calling him Patty. I was like, wait, his name's Patrick? What a moment for him tonight, fighting in front of the Manchester fans. He might have the best current walkout with that whole, oh, it's Patty the baddie, and the little techno dance and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like we need something for you, Chase. We need to get that type of walkout for you.
The AI generated UFC Fight Pass song.
I mean, I like it. It's a good song.
So,
I'm gonna make one for you.
All right. I'm here for it.
I don't know what we'll call it. I mean, Mr. Hands, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. I think quick turnaround for Patty would be good. Hopefully it's something that can happen quick. Oh, you got a guest with us now?
Yeah, this is little homie Charles right here.
I like it. Is that the dog with the cauliflower?
No, this is... That's
dang.
the one with the cauliflower back there.
How many family members do you have in the Hooper household?
Yeah, we got a whole pack.
I guess. Dang, man.
Oh, there's a baby crying in the background, too.
I guess. Maybe it's time to go. You've already been pulling in a long day with the watch-along. How'd the watch-along go?
It's great. It's good hanging out with, virtually, albeit, but with Wonder Boy and Jens, two guys I know pretty well. Just guys being dudes being guys,
Did you have a fight of the night? If Mr. Hands was handing out the bonuses, where are we at?
Ooh, I would say I thought Pineda and I'm spacing on the name. Pineda and Wood was a great fight.
Yep.
They fought, a full fight's worth in the first 2 rounds. I'd give them that extra money. I think they earned it for sure.
I like that a lot. Would Paddy Pimblett get a bonus for the triangle?
I think Patty probably gets one of the performance bonuses, and then the other one probably goes to Aspinall. makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the way that Aspinall made such quick work of Curtis Blades, and I know Blades was the underdog, but I thought Blades was a live underdog at that. I thought stylistically he might be able to pose some problems for Tom Aspinall, but Aspinall, man, it was in perfect form tonight.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that's textbook. I mean, that's how you show that you're the best guy in the world. Which, with John Jones sitting on the sidelines, you're the one in the game. You're the champ in my eyes.
No, absolutely, 100%. It was announced the Sugar Show back in action, coming up at the Sphere against Merab. Any thoughts on that?
That is a tough fight. You know what though is O'Malley kind of has the McGregor thing where he does so well when he's able to have a really long training camp, and when he's able to fight short guys.
Yeah.
A la the Aljamain fight, like he's able to just make these reads on guys and land those power shots just like Connor. But I think as far as just the brutal pacing and the pressure, I think the Merab fight on paper is tougher than the Aljo fight for O'Malley. Just because of that overwhelming force, the whole fight.
Yeah. Up next, we got Sandhagen and Nurmagomedov. Any thoughts on that?
I'm pulling for Corey, but it is very difficult to bet against Nurmagomedov, especially in the Middle East.
It's true, 100%. All right, Chase. Well, I've taken enough of your time. You were gracious with it, doing the watch along and all of that fun business. So I appreciate you hanging out, and let's do it again when we have maybe a little bit more time, and we're not, dealing with crazy dogs with cauliflower ear.
That's all right. Maybe get some lozenges. Take nice little tea for you.
It's true. It's true.
Lemon and honey in there.
It's bad. Like I've actually already invested in some tea, and this is the best I could get out of it. But I got a sweet Callum Walsh wild card boxing shirt though.
I do like that shirt.
Looking my best. So, all right. Well, I appreciate it, sir. We'll talk soon.
Oh yeah, good talking to you.
There he is, Chase Hooper, kind enough to join me here on Extra Rounds, courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbook. By the way, courtesy of DraftKings, that's what it's all about. Head over to DraftKings right now. They are the official betting partner of the UFC. New members can get $150 in bonus bets right now with a $5 minimum bet. Sign up today and use promo code UFC Fight Pass. All right, we're back next week looking at more UFC. I got a marathon coming up of Dan Henderson as well and some of his career highlights. So make sure you tune in coming up on Monday. For Chase Hooper, I'm TJ DeSantis. This has been Extra Rounds right here on UFC Fight Pass.
UFC Fight Pass, Fight Pass. Step into a world. UFC Fight Pass, Pass, Pass. Step in, step into a world.